Hey guys, and welcome to the AVADirect live stream. I'm Shannon.
Mi amo Jose.
And this is Joe. I guess I'm going to be doing this myself if this is the way it's going to go.
Sí. Esa es Enemina.
We have a lot to talk to you guys about.
That's an understatement. Don't lie to him.
Well,
how many pages? Let's count. 1, 2, 3.
I can only count to 3.
4. Potato.
4. I can only count to 4.
Anyways,
I feel like that was necessary.
I interrupted you. Please excuse me.
So we have a lot of news. We're starting to kind of segment them by hardware, games, all that good stuff. So you guys can, before bouncing back and forth between different topics. So one of the first things, I know we've been bringing up like a lot about new NVIDIA GPUs, new GPUs in general, because I think everyone at this point is chomping at the bit about, you know, when are we actually going to get new GPUs? And
yes,
well,
myself included.
Be ready to keep on waiting because NVIDIA has scheduled for at Hot Chips 30, which is a major. Hot Chips is such a weird name.
It's almost like a tongue twister. You can say it 3 times real fast. Hot Chips, Hot Chips, Hot Chips.
Well, what's funny is it's an IEEE like convention, so it's actually a legit thing. But you look at their website, it looks like something from GeoCities from like 2005. Like 90s.
I had a website from GeoCities. It was nice.
Mine got closed. Story for another time. So our friends at Hot Hardware recently reported the upcoming announcement as NVIDIA's Stuart Oberman is scheduled to give an address on NVIDIA's next generation mainstream GPU. That means GeForce, because if it was a professional GPU, it'd be Quadro stuff, which most of you aren't going to care about.
Right. I mean, as a consumer, why? Unless you're a creative individual of some sort. But
well, that's the thing. We work with that stuff, so we kind of care. Because,
yeah, I do care. Professionally, I do care. Personally, I could care less.
Oh, you don't want to game on like a $6,000 Quadro P6000?
I mean, I would just for the experience, but it's probably going to make me die a little inside.
Well, you could just, no. You level up your game. Volta, GV100, it's only $10,000.
Oh, only. That's it?
24 gigs
for
of
the
VRAM.
low price of $9,999.99. I'm in.
I wonder, should I joke about I wonder how the card mines?
Oh, no, please.
And we get more hate posts really quickly.
Insert facepalm meme here.
So, Hot Chips is in the latter part of August 20th to be specific. And this means they are strictly discussing the fact that they're simply discussing the fact about their new architecture, whether it be Turing, Volta, whatever it may be. They're discussing, let's say, lithography, whatever it may be about the new GPU. They're going to be discussing it. So the problem I have is Hot chips is normally where you give an in-depth look at new architecture. This means we could get a look at the new GPUs, what features, specs, all that good stuff. But this doesn't guarantee that the cards will be launching even remotely close to hot chips, which means we could potentially be waiting longer. Because
no surprise there.
A good example is hot chips in 2016. Zen was shown. Zen, which became Ryzen. And that was August 2016. CPUs didn't see the light of day till March 2017.
But granted, that is AMD, so maybe give NVIDIA a little bit of credit. They do actually tend to stick to their release schedule, kind of within the realm of area that they stated, a little bit.
Yeah, but the thing is, they've already, if that was the case, for this launch at least, they've been pretty good in lockstep of being a couple years and then launching their mainstream, aka GeForce cards.
Right.
And that being the case, that time has come and passed, as we know, several weeks ago. And if they're just now announcing or discussing the new microarchitecture, I can't imagine they're just going to all of a sudden, I mean, they could drop it, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys really feel like this is something where they could just drop a bomb on everyone, so to speak, as far as new GPU technology? I feel like it's probably going to be an announce or a paper launch, and then there will be an official GPU launch, but I'm worried we might have to wait till the holiday season before we see new cards.
I mean, if they were smart, that would be a good intro strategy into the new cards, because unless there was a massive leak, AMD would be none the wiser. That's why I don't understand why a lot of competitors release things so openly in terms of what they have in the works. I kind of miss the days of when people would just say, you know, we're working on something, and then out of nowhere, just boom, new technology, and everybody was kind of chomping at the bit to try and figure out more about it. And it also increased a lot of, it improved and increased the excitement of the product too, I feel.
But the thing is, the way I see this is back when you're talking about when that used to happen, we used to get these explosions of like tech flare-up, so to speak.
Right.
They would have a lot of competition back and forth. Right now, I feel like, once again, this is a sign of complacency. They don't feel like they need to put a new GPU out because they haven't been threatened. Now, there is...
VR's pushing more and more. Like, the industry is growing exponentially and far past what anybody had ever really anticipated. You remember, there were a lot of naysayers. They thought that VR was going to be a fad and people were going to move on. And I don't see it going away in the foreseeable future at all.
It's only been growing. It's only been... I mean, the thing that I think the biggest holdup right now for VR, and I hate to get off topic of this, but I think it's important to mention, I think the biggest holdup is just the lack of content thus far. The games are slow coming, and let's face it, when you're playing a game that has photorealistic content, you don't have it in VR. I mean, Skyrim they kind of pushed in, but you know, there's a lot of issues they're still working out. But Bethesda's probably been one of the strongest pushers as far as real like AAA titles coming out in VR. I think that's probably been one of the strongest because you look at like Superhot. It's a cool game, but
yeah, it's all abstract.
It's cartoony. It's kind of
it's like Borderlands in VR.
It is. So is Arizona. Arizona Sunshine's a little better. It has a little more fidelity.
But also, absolutely.
It's really rough on a system too.
It's raw. It's real raw too. So, I mean, but I agree with you. There's just not a whole lot of photorealistic content out there for VR. I mean, there could be Resident Evil 7, but as of right now, there isn't.
But PSVR, because you know consoles can do everything.
Are you trying to make me throw up? Because I'm going to throw up.
Well, I just had Chipotle, so who knows?
I had a Chewy bar, so there's not much there.
Cool stuff.
It'd be like a dog in a carpet.
Now, one thing also to mention about the hot chips, be getting away from just, is NVIDIA going to release cards? We'll see. Time will tell. Intel and AMD will likely be discussing upcoming architectures. This may very well lead into X299 refresh cycle. I know you just got an X299, so GG, you're gonna have pretty soon, not literally last gen platform, but you're gonna be aged already.
Every 3 months, somebody's aged somewhere. It doesn't matter. It could be a card reader that's aged in 3 months.
You age every minute.
Right. All that matters is the longevity and the usefulness and what the architecture can do for you.
This kind of can fall into where I expect AMD may start discussing Zen 2 and 7nm Vega, being the fact they said they would start sampling. Remember, Lisa said she would start. They were going to be sampling before the end of the year.
Oh yeah.
So August would actually be an opportune time frame, and that might be why. This is me speaking hypothetically. I have no information to back this except my own assumptions because I'm really cynical about these kind of things. I feel like they could very well. I feel like they could very well be why NVIDIA's holding back to see exactly what's going to be held for 7nm Vega or even upcoming Navi.
Yeah.
I mean, they could be discussing that micro architecture. Wow, that was tough.
You got through it though. It's okay.
I made it. I made it.
In one piece.
My next question would be: do you feel like we'd hear anything about Intel on their GPU tech that we've had rumored a lot? I feel like with that, that's something that potentially could be brought up for the architecture side.
I hope so. I really hope Intel is going to throw their hat in at some point soon, at least. I'm an impatient person when it comes to stuff like that. I want to know everything before it happens, whether that's realistic or not. But I want a third GPU manufacturer involved in this, what seems like very stagnant race.
Well, what you're saying is you don't want 3 GPUs. You want just a third GPU supplier.
I mean, I'll take 3 GPUs. I mean, if they're free.
3-way scaling sucks, just saying.
If free doesn't. I mean, free doesn't scale any other way than free. So
horrible for power scaling.
Whatever.
Fire.
Yeah, you know.
What's up, Ernie? By the way.
Yellow.
Ernie made a very good point, and something I think we all can feel. He said, I have presents to buy. I can't buy a card for Christmas, or at Christmas.
Yeah,
you and all of us.
You're not unless you're buying a card for somebody else because you're a nice lady. But other than that.
Or treat yourself.
Treat yourself.
Groot? What? Round of applause. Yes. Wow. Wow.
Anyway.
Okay, so we have a fun little thing I wanted to kind of show you guys. We have a cool upcoming server project. We are, as we're growing as a company, we need to expand our server capabilities a little bit because some of our stuff, as far as our databases and whatnot, we need more speed because, well, Joe, we like to do a lot of stuff really, really fast.
I like to go fast.
I like to go fast. And if you ain't first, you're last.
I have a need for speed.
Are you making this reference strictly because of like Top Gun's coming?
Yes, exactly why.
Oh, good God. Oh, no. So we have laid out here kind of some of our upcoming project, and I'd like to see your guys' feedback and see how you'd feel about seeing a live build of our brand new server here in AVADirect. So we've got our from our buddy at Steven Gamers Nexus, we've got our
thanks, Steven.
We've got our mod mat here with all of our components. So we've got dual gold Intel Xeons. The only chip I've ever seen this damn big is probably a Threadripper, which this thing is just ridiculous.
It's a beast.
It's a Pearly-based platform, so it's like, I don't know, LGA 30 billion pins. And then we're actually I'm probably gonna do a how-to if you guys are interested in seeing it, on setting up VROC, which is Virtual Radon CPU, because we're using 2 NVMe P4600 DC, the enterprise drives. So these are NVMe 2 terabyte SSDs that are going to be in the slots, they're AICs. These things are going to be running the bulk of our database and internal workloads. And we wanted something that would not be able to fall short or falter in any way. And I feel like we kind of went all out because we got dual 18-core, 36-thread processors, over 3 gigahertz, especially when you're turboing them up. Along with, we're going to have over 128 gigs of RAM in this thing and 2 terabyte drives, PCIe. So this thing's going to be fast as hell. And if you guys are interested in seeing us build it live, or me build it live, or possibly someone else, because I really don't want to see you mess this. I really don't want you guys to see me mess this up live.
Oh, come on, have more confidence.
I have confidence in me. I don't have confidence in myself with like $30,000 plus worth of hardware.
Just pretend it's like a play school set and you're golden.
I don't play Fortnite.
You can play Fork Knife. Anybody can play Fork Knife. My dog can play Fork Knife.
So we're rounding up the parts for this thing, and this thing's going to be a beast. This thing's massive. All we're waiting on to come in is our chassis and power supplies, and this thing's going to be ready to rock and roll. And if you guys are interested in seeing this thing built live, we'll definitely do a video. I'm not sure if we'll do a live stream on that because this could take a while, and I know they'll limit your live stream capabilities, but maybe we'll record it so that we can edit it, and if I drop a CPU in the socket, I won't have to do that publicly because that would be the worst shaming ever.
Could you tell us what kind of CPU coolers are available for this socket?
Not a lot. We're going to go ahead and transition back over here, and we'll discuss some more about what we want to do here. I feel like just build it now. Yeah, Chad, the only problem is also I don't have coolers yet. And those CPUs don't have ILMs.
I mean, we probably could just cool it with some mustard.
Well, you know, we've tested all kinds of stuff as thermal interface material.
Mustard, mayonnaise.
That would smell horrible.
Other stuff and things.
I tried a fruit roll-up once.
Did you eat it afterward?
Yes.
Because I would.
I did.
I'd roll it up and just...
The only problem was before that I tested Shin-Etsu thermal paste, and I didn't realize there was a little bit left. So when I'm like, that tastes weird. Then I look at it, and there's like little bits of gray, and I'm like, oh, cool.
It's okay. It's like you eat tinfoil every now and then. You're eating a burger from fast food places. You'll live.
You hope. I feel like you're the only one, maybe even the people watching, that actually eat like tinfoil.
I mean, I don't purposely eat tinfoil. It just happens. It's, you know, it's
Just build it now. Ask Noctua if they have anything for that. For that mounting, I seriously doubt it.
they don't. I searched, Chad, I searched high and low for alternative CPU coolers for that. They don't exist. Supermicro was the only company I saw that legit made a CPU cooler.
Dynatron. I actually found one through Dynatron, and that's what we're going with is like a B13, I think.
Is it available? Can you buy it online? Can you buy it on AVADirect.com?
I hope so.
You can.
Well, I would certainly hope so.
You can.
You tell me. You're the sales guy, Joe. That's my saving grace.
Third time's the charm. You
Yes.
can. Available
You
at
can.
AVADirect.com.
And we can build one of these for you.
I mean, he might actually build it for you if you ask nicely. Nicely.
Please don't ask nicely. I have other things to do. Please no. That's what we should do. A signature series systems where people can request one of us build it,
Yeah, we can do that.
and we'll sign a system.
Why not? But there should be stipulations to it. Like, you have to build a system in the dark. You have to build a system wearing a blindfold. You have to build a system with a live tarantula in the room with a locked door.
I'm out. That's over. That idea just died.
We are going to make that happen. We
died.
have some pretty neat ideas for some live streams and for some recorded content for YouTube. And one of them does involve spiders. And I'm really trying to convince Shannon to just, you know, grow a sack and get it over with and do this. But
All of you that are my friends, please share the fact in the chat right now that you do not want to see me want to end my own life due to spider incursion into an event.
you're not going to end your own life. You have too much to live for. And you
The
likely...
spiders will kill me.
No, we wouldn't let that happen. It would just kind of be like a constant reminder that something that you fear deathly is just about 10 feet away from you and slowly crawling its way at you. Like, and what we'll do is we'll get like Shannon or Brooke to get like those dense microphones that you can hear like the hairs on its legs moving while it walks. And it's gonna be in your ears, and that's all you hear. You don't hear anything else, just but the.
Yeah. I do agree with Ernie. Fried mustard is an In-N-Out thing. Delicious. Yes, it is. And I haven't had In-N-Out in, well, actually, no, I had it in Vegas with you.
Yeah.
Other than that, I have not been able to have it regularly in any reasonable amount of time.
Try spider thermal paste.
Try what?
Try spider thermal paste, is what John said. That's good, John.
Oh, John, come on, dude.
Brilliant.
No. No, Ashley, no.
Ashley wants to see it. We're going to do this.
No, we're not.
It's happening.
We'll have a vote, and I will create 1,000 fictitious accounts and say no.
Maybe we will create a poll in the upcoming weeks, and if we can get enough people to poll it, we're going to do it. But we have to set a goal, though. How many people do you want to see vote yes to see you try to build a PC wall in the same room of a live spider? We'll say 500 people. If we can get 500 people to vote yes, it's going to happen. Yes? No? Yes,
no.
Joe.
No.
That sounds good to me.
I
think
no.
I can handle it. All right, Shannon. If you say so.
Wow. This actually is a really good one. I actually like this, and this is something we talked about, Joe. I was just checking real quick. We had a comment on YouTube, which was a little lengthy, but I'm gonna put it out there. He said, I have a suggestion. It's from Delano on YouTube. He says, and I have a suggestion. If you want to have more of a presence on YouTube and to promote your company, you should show off your building capability. Show off your building capability off so people can judge your PC building skills. Oh, we are definitely working on some stuff like that.
We have some real killer machines to show you guys.
Yeah, I feel like we built some. I feel like we built some really awesome stuff, and I think that's something you guys will be pleasantly surprised as we start to release videos of. And also, we are working on some other things to show off some of our everyday builds because we don't have time necessarily on live streams to sit here and like show you guys all the awesome builds we do. So we're going to start kind of cataloging those so you guys can check them out and see exactly what we are building. Now,
Stamp of approval.
I'm just that spider thing threw me off big time.
Do you need a minute? Do you want to turn the camera to me and I'll just kind of like intimately address the audience about like some of the finer things?
And I'm just going to lay on the floor and cry for 2 or 3 minutes?
We need to have like some Barry Manilow or something playing in the background though.
I feel like the bass just isn't there.
No, it's not.
I mean, even if you play it from your phone.
So,
Zotac is announcing another mini card, a 1070 Ti.
And while you may not feel like Zotac is a name to get excited about, the fact that they are releasing this kind of product is something I'm personally excited about.
Well, the thing is, a lot of people just simply aren't aware of the similar big name brands, like what people consider big name brands, like MSI, Asus, things like that, or
it's so cute. It's so mini.
But they've actually been doing these mini cards for a while. Zotaic's been doing mini cards, and it's been a really effective thing.
And what's funny is Asus followed suit after a while. They came out with a couple of like mini 960s back in the day.
And then they stopped.
I mean, they probably didn't sell well, but I would have a need for a mini 1070 right now because of my mini ITX system.
That's actually what I was going to ask you about. Was this is the kind of question I had for not just you, but for everyone out there. Do you like super compact systems because where a mini card makes sense, or do you prefer like a big open system where you can show your hardware off? Because I feel like myself, I tend to like personally a gigantic system where I can show stuff off, but at the same time, I have that mobile system like I took to Chad's that's much smaller. So I feel like there's a purpose for both, but which do you like better? Do you like a big one where you can show everything off, or do you like a really compact system that's easy? I don't even want to call it portable, but just easier for space as space becomes less and less available.
Sure. Well, for desktop, I don't like anything that's gargantuan. Usually a mid tower, maybe to a full tower is good because I do perform routine maintenance on my PC in terms of cleaning the dust out, so I do have to pick it up and carry it up a flight of stairs and into a garage. So I prefer to not have anything like, the 1000D, for example.
Well, but that's, I mean, you're paying for all those Ds.
I know, but those are a bunch of Ds that you're likely just going to cement into the ground. It's not going to go anywhere, and if your Ds get dusty, so be it.
But do you think you can build a real killer machine out of 1000 Ds?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the more Ds you see, there was nowhere in proximity I could set it up and have ample space to where I'm either not smacking my hands or something or hitting my head somewhere. So I actually ended up having to use a room upstairs, which is dubbed my daughter's playroom, to set up a mini ITX system in there and then set up sensors in the corners. And it's a nice big open space, but it's not something I could necessarily do with a larger system. So having a small compact system with something like this mini GTX 1070 is perfect.
Okay, and with the 1070 Ti horsepower it brings to the table, I feel like that could be beneficial. But
absolutely,
the other question really becomes, do you feel there's any possible thermal detriments having such a small card and having it in a mini system where airflow could be potentially very limited?
No, I think as long as you're making sure that the case is not just building up ambient heat and it's not dumping it properly or fast enough, you'll be okay. I mean, it's going to sound like a jet engine, of course, but if you're using your system for VR anyways and you have a headset on, like, who cares? Half the time you won't be able to hear the ceiling caving in on you, So what does that matter? And there's tons of people online, and there's customers I've worked with before where I've tried to convince them to consider liquid cooling, especially with like a multi-GPU setup. And the general consensus seems to be that a lot of people end up opting for wearing headphones nowadays as opposed to having these elaborate 5.1 surround sound setups. So like air-cooled noise doesn't bother them at all. And that makes sense.
Well, it's the same idea. Like when we sell gaming laptops, the fans can tend to spin up when you're under heavy gaming load.
Right.
So I think a lot of people are getting used to just the fact that, if you have a louder system, it's not going to matter because of the fact that you're wearing headphones anyway. And that's where you start to hit that balance point of like ultra quiet systems versus like something that you really don't care about noise because you do primarily have a headset on, so you don't have to worry about that.
This is true.
And the other thing I would really worry about with something small like this is possible PCB crowding, where it could cause potentially higher heat because, you have limited room for VRM components, things like that.
Right.
That's the only other thing I really see it being kind of a weird situation where you could enter an area that potentially will cause abnormal wear or accelerated wear potentially on your components.
Right.
So, and check it out, guys. We actually have notes. We have like pages of notes.
We came prepared.
We came prepared, kinda.
Sneak peek.
You just killed your laptop, I think, or something. Thinks.
Me thinks I killed my laptop.
Great. So there's another thing another hardware thing that just came out is Intel actually just previewed their new Optane DC persistent memory, which I know John's going to be interested about. He's probably there viewing it.
Optane.
And well, this is different than the Optane SSDs. It's not really. It's DIMM form factor through specific interface, 3D crosspoint, which means it's going to be super fast for really quick access. This is going to reduce boot times. Wow, I'm telling you, I can't brain today.
Is it the spiders?
It is the spiders. It is definitely the spiders.
Every now and then you'll be talking, and I'm just gonna
stop it. You're killing me. Okay, so These things will reduce boot times from minutes to seconds, potentially, at least from what they're showing.
Do they have benchmarks to back that up?
They're just now announcing them, so we haven't seen it yet. Trust me, as soon as I can test them, I will be doing so.
Awesome.
I feel like these are right now pitched as a server product. I feel like, imagine we're building, like we build a lot of workstations.
Oh, tons.
Imagine an HEDT like workstation where you use maybe 4 DIMMs, so you're using quad channel memory.
Right.
You have 4 open DIMMs. Imagine if you could populate some of that with some of this persistent memory they're literally DIMMs that don't ever like lose the data. They're just like an SSD, but super fast transport directly to the CPU.
Yeah, and the CPU needs more input. This Caliber with dual CPUs on it in like a small form factor case.
Yeah.
Because if you want to trade out the ability for disk storage and you just want to go with solid state, you won't need any drive base, technically.
But
so if they came out with a product that's
well.
but it's not a 1, 2, 3 M.2s in like enthusiast level boards. I haven't seen a server that has more than one M.2 that's more common without the loss of bandwidth in that issue. So to be able to have a small form factor system that's literally just the board, the power supply. Yeah, if you just imagine.
2 M2s.
Imagine. Yeah, I said
right there.
I said most. Okay. All right. You don't have to be mean about it.
Not being mean.
You just be a nice lady.
Everyone, tell them I'm being nice, please.
Anyways, just imagine a case that's just, like the Carbide 540 by Corsair would be a good example. Something like that, and fit a Xeon board inside of it without the requirement of needing bays. That would be awesome. That is actually something that would put me within the realm of actually being interested in the product. And I have no use for one, but I would want one just because it's something that has not been done before. But man, would that be a killer machine.
By the way, just saying, that has 8 DIMMs on that board. So imagine if we populate, let's say 120 gigs, theoretically, on that system. That would be
8
4
DIMMs per CPU?
That would be 8 total DIMMs, 4 DIMMs per CPU. So imagine if we took and threw in a couple of those persistent memory modules. And
I can't even.
Well, I can't odd. I mean, wait.
I can't equal?
No. My computer's freaking out.
Die.
Freaking Kevin. Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark.
I didn't hit her.
I did not.
The other thing is this, let's see. Oh, this is crazy. We're going to go to games now, because we got a lot of gaming news to talk about.
Oh, boy. Can we just rip the Band-Aid off of the one topic that I'm really not excited about? Can we just...
Is this going to start where I'm talking right here?
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, probably the pink elephant in the room for everyone.
Why does it have to be pink?
Because it's a term, Joe. It's a term. It's a euphemism, I think. Yeah, it's technically a euphemism. I'm misusing large words now.
Why can't it be a pink turtle?
It's a pink train, Joe. Pink Thomas the Tank Engine. Does that make you feel better?
Sorry.
There's no brakes on this train.
No.
So Bethesda teased something Fallout related on Tuesday, 5/29, just earlier this week, right after our wonderful long weekend. The Twitter and Facebook pages teased the all too familiar Fallout themed clip of the Please Stand By image with a Vault Boy doll, or kind of like our pop figures here, a little Vault Boy pop figure. By the way, do you know why he does that?
Absolutely. It's because back in the day, they would measure the distance between the safety of the mushroom cloud. And if it was bigger than your thumb, you need to leave.
Yes, absolutely right. Excellent. 10 points for Joe. 10 points for Hufflepuff.
What do I win?
Nothing.
I'm sorry, did you just put me in the Hufflepuff house?
Absolutely.
I just lost some respect for you.
I'm the sorting Shannon.
Wow. I was always pegged as a Slytherin. Someone told me that would be a Slytherin. No, but my wife also says I'd be a Hufflepuff. It sucks.
Well, you know what?
I want to be a Slytherin.
Well, you want to be a lot of things, but I want to be an astronaut. But I'm not. I'm stuck watching astronaut movies and playing astronaut video games.
I mean, you could be an astronaut.
I'm watching The Martian because awesome. But I mean that.
You should be watching Mars Attacks.
Mars Attacks is great.
It's
Ashley,
awesome.
I think Ashley hates it though.
Just show her the chicken dance stick now.
I feel like I don't know. She has no taste, I guess.
Oh. Shannon wants to sleep on the couch. Couch. Sleep on the couch. Anyways.
It's hinting at a new It was hinting at a new Fallout announcement. Obviously, most of you have probably seen it, being the fact that E3 is just around the corner. Bethesda's press conference is Sunday, June 10th. The following day, May 30th, just I don't know, like 2 days ago. They announced the trailer for Fallout 76.
More like 70.
Now, I think we're rolling that.
Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. Life is all there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, blowing like the breeze. Country roads, take me.
But when the fighting is stopped and the fallout has settled, you must rebuild.
I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country roads, take me home, country roads.
In Vault 76, our future begins.
All right, 5, 4.
Yay, 76.
Now, Vault 76 is is one of those control vaults, I guess you'd call it. It's a the original lore was about the fact that it was a control group.
That's repopulation, right?
What I feel like things are happening. I don't know what's happening. I love it. Or the Brooks controlling our stream, and I see her going like, ah, which means probably the fact that all the news going out that this could potentially be a horrible, horrible thing, like a Daisy-ish nightmare survival co-op.
My initial feeling was just no, because if I wanted to play something like that, I would go play DayZ or I would go play Rust.
Not to mention, you always have the story. It's always been about the story. But
dude, it's always been about the story. It's always been about the post-apocalyptic immersion. You know, because there's a certain thing that I feel as a gamer that once you go multiplayer, you kind of lose some immersion in it. And I've been a fan of the series ever since I was like 5, 6 years old when they came out in the early 90s. And you had action points, right? That they would take action points away from you if you used your inventory. You know,
yeah.
So I'm not knocking the fact that the new Fallout series it's all strictly on gunshots and damage, but to go with like an online like VATS isn't going to work. How is that going to work online? Because you could just be walking through a map and somebody VATS on you and you're like, oh, and the screen opens and you get shot in the face and you're like, okay, cool.
That's where I feel like that rumor I'm really hoping I'm hoping their credible sources are crap, because if it is, I'm going to be very sad, because
I just hope it's like they use the keyword inspiration. They were using this inspiration, so I hope that is a very fine line between like an inspiration of, okay, we're going to do this now, and the inspiration of we're going to take a few key aspects of survival and we're going to implement it into the game. Oh, and it's co-op, because co-op Fallout campaign, awesome.
Yes. But also, what if they make it a separate component? Kind of like you have Call of Duty. You have the
fine.
And I hate to use that. I hate to like to have that delineation. But let's say
yeah,
you have
I hate that you have it too.
Let's say you have the campaign just by itself. I'm just gonna forget you said that. Let's say you had the campaign just like you've had in Fallout 4. Let's say you had that. Everything's good, and now Fallout 76, you just happen to have an add-on component, kind of like the multiplayer for Call of Duty.
Right.
You just have, hey, you want to do this co-op survival thing? Here's one you can do.
Hey, you want to find trolls constantly and just completely lose your inability to enjoy the game? Online. Because
you mean Call of Duty? Oh wait, I'm sorry. Wait, same thing.
Because you know that's going to happen. People are going to find ways to flame people, troll on Fallout, and then you're going to just have people like, hey dude, you trade something? You got a book and you start a fire, and you'd be like, okay, and you read the book, and then when you take the book down, you're tied up by that person. And now they're going to force you to eat rotten food, and you're going to die from it.
By the way, real quick, auxiliary from Twitch. asked, he said, wouldn't the memory, and this is going back to Octane, he said, wouldn't that be similar to like a RAM drive, but non-persistent, or non-volatile, I mean? Yes, it actually would be. It'd be quite similar to that, except for the fact that it's actually designed specifically for storage versus like a software layer, or even sometimes a hardware firmware, even sometimes a hardware firmware layer where you can allocate specific system memory to storage. It will be a bit different in the fact that it will be non-volatile. It will actually have, non-volatile memory, which means it will hold the data. It won't forget, just like regular RAM does. When you power it off, it clears itself and flushes. The Optane DC will actually be completely fine, and the persistent memory will hold the data, just be much faster in an interface that was designed for system memory, because Optane is kind of bridging the gap between system memory, as I'm sure you've seen, Joe. Remember, we brought that up with that laptop where it's advertised as 24 gigs of memory with 8 gigs of actual system DRAM and a 16 gig module of Optane, and you're like, bleh. But in reality, it makes sense, and I've tested a bit of that, and it's not as good when you're doing memory-intensive stuff, but it's much better than what it would be with just 8 gigs of memory.
Absolutely.
So it technically does kind of take that filled space, but I don't know how well adoption of that will be as far as regular consumers. But high-end, like data center or even workstations, I think that would be advantageous.
Absolutely.
Now back to gaming. So Vault 76.
Do we still have to talk about it?
I feel like Vault 76, being a control group, I'm really hoping it's not some of the theories people have had, like, oh, it's a scavenger that, went through and, is going through the vault. I'm really hoping it's the 20-year opening where they're coming out to repopulate the surface, and you're just going to be this dude who had no idea any of this stuff happened, and you come out to a surprise as to what's going on out in the wasteland.
Right. It would be a really cool aspect of the game, too, if, like, part of your mission was, like, you had to populate. So, like, go to this village, you know what I'm saying. Go to this village and spread your seed.
I feel like
and move to the next village.
Is this going to Witcher territory now?
It's absolutely going into Witcher territory. Except instead of like the montage from the first one where it's
Witcher 76.
It's like translucent images of like Geralt and like a woman rolling around in like a pan flute. Ooh-la-loo. It's just bombs blowing up with that same moniker. So it's just like the dude rolling around in like rusty cans and like burn up couches, and you just see bombs blowing up in the background, and then like Vault Boy like, ugh. And then, like, you walk out of the house and you're just like, next. I mean, that'd be a cool aspect. It just depends if they did it tastefully, obviously. No one wants to, like, if we start to go into the realm of, like, hey, I'm going into Fallout because they have some questionable scenes, then you're going down a rabbit hole that Bethesda will never be able to get out of. Then you'll have mods, and
They already had that, and that was one of the things that's been talked about. Is they're trying to kill the fact that people had all those adult mods and whatnot. So now they're trying to make it. They're actually trying to circumvent the fact that they're trying to create it so that people cannot modify it, and that it will be a game you can build and do all this crazy construction with, just like they did with Fallout 4, like editor and all that stuff. You can do all that cool stuff. I think they're trying to burn that or bake that into the game now, so that in such a way so that you can do all that until integrated into the game model itself versus being a separate tool.
Right.
And I think they're doing that so they can eliminate the mods and they can integrate everything they want directly across the board.
Sure. I was one of the weirdos that I got really tired of watching like my armor clip through coats and stuff. So I ran the command code like, I'm wearing the armor, but if I'm wearing the trench coat, don't show the armor clipping out of the shoulders of the coat. I'm wearing a coat, the armor's underneath it. Just go about your day.
Just trust me.
Dude, it just bothered me after a while. Like, I don't even care about the instances where people were like picking up objects and like flying away like on a carpet in Aladdin and then getting dropped 50 feet and dying. It's just, you're literally staring third person at your character most of the game if you're not first person, so just stop. Stop it, Bethesda. You can have all the bugs you want, but just spend the time to make sure that objects that shouldn't clip aren't clipping when you're staring at it all the time.
Well, you've seen the meme of Bethesda offices where it has a plant going through the wall.
They might as well.
Well, it would fit most of the games, like when you close a door on someone in Skyrim and their body would freak out and die.
That's probably the one company where the term hole in the wall like is actually a positive term for them. It's a real hole in the wall. No, really, it is. Like, that's okay.
Like as in it's a hole in the wall, you're not actually clipping through it?
Yeah.
There you go.
And, I bet they'd probably make a really cool Portal game, though.
Yeah, oh God, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this?
Anyways, so
Auxiliary from Twitch also said, I'd like to see something like State of Decay 2. How do you feel about that?
On PC, State of Decay, I thought State of Decay was pretty cool, personally, on Steam. And then when I saw the improvements to the second one, it was pretty sweet. I wonder why they are not releasing it for the PC is my first question. Like probably because they feel like it had more of a core audience, obviously, on consoles. But that's a game that its origins stemmed from PC, right?
Yeah, but I mean, then again, everything now is a PC, so I don't know why they wouldn't release it because
You're a
everything,
PC.
every console you have right now is an AMD APU.
Yeah, I know.
Even the ones we're going to talk about later. But
Sure.
that's, and being the fact that E3 is right around the corner and so many big game announcements are happening, we do have some more to talk about, stuff like Battlefield V/Battlefield 5. And here's the trailer
Battlefield
that
V.
here's the trailer they just launched for that.
V.
Launching grenade! I got your back! That's the rocket!
Hello, old friend.
Ready?
Well, wasn't that a lot of wholesome family fun?
So, Battlefield 5 has been one of those weird things where, once again, if you have not been under a rock, basically there's been a bunch of people complaining that it's not historically accurate, which I think is dumb since what game have you seen that's like an exact representation of historical accuracy?
Ask yourself one question. Is it being shown on the History Channel? Is it made by the History Channel? Who cares? It's a video game.
How do you know?
I mean, because I'm pretty sure there would be legal battles that would ensue. I mean, look what happened with WWF back in the day. No, Panda logo, you can't do that. I'm suing you. Like, that's the last thing we need. But anyway, it's a video game. It does not need to be historically accurate other than the fact that it's World War II. I mean, nobody complained when Call of Duty did zombies.
Oh, exactly.
Nobody.
But
now you're going to complain about historical accuracy?
They're like, there was no women combatants, and what does it matter? Who cares?
You would think it'd be the opposite. Like, why can't we see more women? This is sexist. Who cares? It's a video game.
And I think that's one of the reasons they did it. They're like, hey, you know what? People want to play female characters. It's obviously happening. And
I'd be cool with it, man.
PUBG. We know people who are guys who play female characters.
Absolutely.
For whatever reason they do.
I mean, oddly enough, it was either because they thought that the character models were slimmer so that the bullets would fly, until PUBG was like, oh no, the realm of hit distance is still the same.
Hitboxes are the same.
Yeah, hitboxes are the same.
And you're stuck with it now.
And for other reasons. You know, probably the best, to be fair, probably the best explanation I heard from somebody in which I will not name out of respect is, because if I have to stare at somebody's butt all day while playing this, it might as well be a woman's, right? Like, okay, fair enough. Because I'm sure there's women out there who do the same thing.
Well, there you go.
I do know somebody that played an RPG as a man because of, like, just the build of the men. They were like, hey, you just like build of the men. And I was like, okay, you do you.
See, I'm one of those
okay.
people that I will build like the weirdest looking thing possible. Like I played Ark a lot on my server, and I would always build like these monstrous, weird looking midget people, like just really short little
people, Shannon.
I realized after I said that, I'm like, oh no. Just I would crush the person down and just make them super like wide shouldered and stuff, and I'd be like, that looks awesome. So he just looked really awkward, especially when you equipped him with armor. So that's the kind of like Skyrim. I'd spend like 2 hours building a character. Same with like Fallout.
I believe it. It's like The Sims. You get sucked into the player creation for like 2 hours, and you're like, oh, it's morning. I got to go to work.
See, I had the problem of my Sims would always die, usually because of my own fault.
I made mine die. I got bored after a while, man. It was like the thing that sold me on The Sims, as horrible as this sounds, is my brother told me when I was like 12 years old, like, you got to play this game. It's called Sims. You know, what do you do? Well, you have a house and you eat and you job. I'm like, that sounds boring. Yeah, but I invited a bunch of people over and I built walls around them and I killed them. And I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah, see, I invited over for a party. I made a pool. Then I took the ladder out of the pool so no one could get out of it.
Did they just start crying until they drowned in the pool?
I don't remember. I shut the game off and when I came back, like no one was there. So I assume they died.
Cool. Remind me to never go swimming in a pool that you have if you ever get a pool.
I had one of my guys try to fix a microwave and he electrocuted himself and died.
That's good. I had a guy that's playing guitar and his amp caught fire. And how that goes from spark, fire.
When I had a fire in one of the ovens in the house, they were like this. All they did was go like this, and you had to tell them what to do. And I'm like, wow, these Sims are stupid. They deserve
Stop,
to
drop,
die.
and roll. Run to the bathroom and pee.
Okay.
Anyways.
Jesus, Joe.
So, back on topic. I don't believe that historical accurateness needs to be a big deal.
I don't think it's necessary. Unless Kevin brought a good point, like War Thunder. War Thunder is massively historically accurate, like for the game, the plane models, tank models, you know, ammo penetration, things like that. There's a lot of things there that they do to make it very, very realistic when you're in combat. But I feel like games like this, I feel like it's not absolutely necessary. You you have some chick with a hook. That's fine. I mean, if that's what you want to be, you be that character. That's great. You really don't need to take it.
I prefer a peg leg, by the way.
You don't need to be offended every time a game comes out for whatever reason. It's silly.
No, and it's bad enough that you have advocates for video game violence to begin with, and you're going to start throwing PC stuff into the mix. Like, just stop.
Eventually,
you're muddying the waters for no reason. Let everybody enjoy themselves at the fact that it's just a form of entertainment, and go from there.
Eventually, we're all just going to be playing WordPad. I mean, that's literally all we're going to be able to do. And even then, we're going to type something and someone's going to get upset.
Fallout crossword.
Fallout crossword.
What is the name?
Nuka.
A being that floats in water but runs out with giant turtle shell. Oh, that's a Mirelurk. Ernesto said something pretty interesting. He said the History Channel did away with a lot of the history stuff, and now they're dead to him. Agreed.
I do not disagree with that because they literally became, just like everyone else, they became this reality TV, basically, like everything else.
They went where the moolah is. And I mean, you can't blame them. They're a corporation like anything else.
They're to make money.
It's really rough. It's tough now to find companies and entities that stay true to their origins, and that's kind of what we try to do.
But I'm also truth in advertising as well. When we say we're building this, when we say we're building a killer machine, we're building a killer machine. But when you take and say, I'm the History Channel, but we're doing stuff that's kind of history. It's like, you're the kind of History Channel.
It's irony because now their integrity is history.
Well, that too. I guess you could say that. Chick with a hook. Kevin. I should have pre-read that before I almost read it online. Good stuff. Also, another announcement that apparently is going to be showing here pretty quick and has actually been shown at GDC as well is the Atari VCS console. So Atari is finally coming back after, I don't know, what is it, the 80s, the last time we saw anything?
Such excite.
Much
retro.
The best part is that they were up on Indiegogo. They had a goal of 100K, and within 24 hours, they had over $2 million.
Wow.
So that tells you how excited. We're not the only ones excited about this. And don't get me wrong, I'm a big PC guy, but what I love about the VCS is it, in essence, is a PC.
Yeah.
So
a Linux-based PC at that, which is awesome.
It's basically like everything else. It's an APU. It runs a Linux-based OS.
It looks so pretty.
It looks really cool because of the fact I love the retro styling, the wood grain to it. It's because
OG, dude.
It literally is like an OG console.
It makes me want to go out and buy a station wagon with wood panel on it.
Not necessarily that far, but I'll take it.
I'll take it as far as I can, man.
They have the classic paddle controller along with an Xbox stylish controller, Xbox inspired, we'll call it, so that they don't have any weird infringements. I'm sure they will eventually deal with.
It's better than what the ColecoVision controller was. It was just a wheel with numbers.
Well, do you remember Intellivision, or are you too young for that?
I was pretty young.
Okay. Well, but the connectivity, what's cool is just to show you it's actually a PC. It has an Ethernet port, micro SD, 3 USBs, HDMI, and integrated Wi-Fi. With it running,
that thing is going to get blown so wide open.
I think they're planning on that because, like I said,
that'd be awesome.
They're running a custom skinned Linux OS, and they're saying like it'll come loaded with a bunch of classic games, which means it's basically a glorified MAME cabinet. And they're planning on possibly refreshing, like reimagined old classic titles.
That would be pretty cool. I would love to play Friday the 13th.
And it's going to be 4K capable, and it's going to be like between $250 to $300.
So those pixels are going to appear real crisp.
Those really pixelated, Pitfall.
Oh yeah, Kool-Aid Man. Let's do this.
Those blocks are going to be so blocky. Just saying.
Crisp blockiness.
So I imagine they're not going to care if people hack it. As a matter of fact, I think if anything, they're going to embrace it. They're going to be like, hey,
if they were smart, they would.
You want to do fun stuff with it? Show us what you're going to do. If they open to a developer community, that's going to be amazing. Because that's what PC is all about. You think about what we do. We open source a lot of stuff.
Right. There are a lot of people out there that just can't leave well enough alone, and that's me.
That's all of us.
Absolutely.
We all like to tweak stuff, and that's where it's really going to come down to just being, you're going to be able to do really awesome stuff with this, I think. It's a Linux-based OS. It's an APU, so obviously it's not going to play like AAA titles like you would with your main PC. But being able to load it up like a MAME cabinet, like we talked about a lot with MAME cabinets, because we love like old emulators, stuff like that.
Right.
So this is the ideal platform, and it would fit in with any other console you potentially have at your house.
Right. And Ernesto brings up a solid point. He feels it's overpriced, and $250 to $300, it's steep. But we haven't seen it yet, so let's wait to see. Everybody thought that the Wii was too expensive for what it was, $250, until everybody got their hands on it, and you were crazy to not want to buy one.
But that's the thing. See, I feel like this is actually going to be a great value, because similar to, let's say we were to build an APU-based system, like if you build a similar, I don't know the specs yet, but if it's like a Jaguar Core, something similar to like what the PlayStations and thing run, $300 is about in the wheelhouse of what you're going to be able to do, and if you have the capability to tweak and mod and do all that stuff, especially with the micro SD card slot, now means you can sideload a ton of stuff, especially with Linux. Linux, you can pretty much do anything.
Not to mention, like to be able to probably build hardware that's comparable, you're going to exceed that price point.
Most likely. To build it in a nice-looking enclosure.
Not to mention the time that you'll spend loading a Linux kernel and making sure that, and hoping that hardware is going to be compatible with it.
Yeah, they're kind of doing that guesswork, I guess, for you. I guess that's a lot less.
It's like a beefed up Raspberry Pi.
And this is actually really cool. Kevin actually mentioned, he said Intellivision. And can you hack it to do all this? Ernie, maybe. The problem is it's not running necessarily a Linux-based OS, so you'd have to do a lot of stuff to, its core competency is running Linux. So I feel like that is definitely a good advantage, because you're starting from a Linux base. You're not starting from a custom ROM that from Sony that potentially cannot be modified nearly as much. This is a base Linux kernel that's been skinned or in some way modified, but it's Linux, it's open source. You can do anything you want with it for the most part.
Which is super exciting to me.
And it's funny, Kevin actually brought up, he said Intellivision, and that was the next thing we were going to talk about, is the fact that Intellivision is back. And I actually saw Kevin actually just post about this recently. I feel like this is awesome. This is basically, we just recently saw that they are getting Intellivision going again. Tommy's running it, founders of Video Games Live, and this basically they're touting the fact that they're going to bring simple, affordable, family, and fun back into homes. And so October 1st, 2018, they're going to be talking more about it. I always welcome new ways to be able to game. I'm not looking at this as, oh my God, consoles are bad, PC Master Race forever.
Consoles bad, PC Master Race good.
I feel like anything we can do to bring people into gaming is a plus, and anything you can do to bring children into gaming nowadays, because nowadays people are getting so complacent with mobile games on phones. I mean, don't get me wrong, I play mobile games. Me and Kevin play mobile games together.
I stopped. You know what killed it for me, ironically? Fallout Shelter.
No, that killed it.
When I came back and like 18 things were breaking into my vault and just destroying everybody, like while I was sleeping, I'm like, I quit. I'm done. No more.
Oh, I started editing my save games to mess with stuff, to see what I can do. And then I broke the game and gave up.
Just change every single vault chamber to like a bathroom, and that's it.
I gave me like a bunch of those little robots. I can't, for my brain's not working right now.
Mr. Handy?
I didn't want to say that, but that's, basically. Yeah. I gave myself a whole bunch of Mr. Handys to handle everything, and then
Did you know?
What happened was I had so many in my inventory that it broke the game and stopped working. And I was like, okay, time to go.
That sounds about right.
So I'm all for, and I think you agree. We're all for gaming as a whole, not just PC, but across the board. Because if we can get more families gaming, more people gaming, there's more potential segues to getting people into PC gaming, which is ideally where I do most of my gaming. We play PUBG a lot, unfortunately, way more than we probably should.
Yes, sir.
And we're going to be playing. I hate to keep teasing this, but coming up, I think next week we should be set up to start maybe doing some PUBG live next week.
We'll do duos, we'll do squads, we'll probably do a couple single games here and there.
Yeah.
I think it's also going to be cool. We'll do some really strange stuff too. Like we'll limit our matches to handguns, or we'll do shotguns only, or we'll do cars only, or we'll do sneak missions. Like get all the way down to the end of the game and just be the second to last person alive with no weapons. That would be cool. And see if we can convince the other person at the end run to discard all their weapons and just fight it out with fists.
I tried that once. The guy shot me.
Well, that's because he has no honor.
I'm like,
you have no discipline.
You must commit seppuku. I feel like we're about to play PUBG right now, actually.
I'm pumped. I'm going to go home and do what I got to do, and that's probably what I'm going to do later.
Shannon, Chris wants to play PUBG. Well, he just needs to come play with us. I'm totally down with it. Just have him message me.
Yep.
We will actually, just speaking to you guys, we will actually be playing with you guys. So if you guys want to join us, we will set up some matches. We will have to set up, obviously, we'll have to start up our AVADirect Discord and start inviting people in so that we can start matching up with some of you guys, and we'll have some fun, play some matches, see what kind of weird stuff we can do. Probably going to be lots of it.
And since we're on the subject of PUBG, how about that legal battle they're going into with Epic?
They're suing Epic, the makers of Play School PUBG, aka
About time, man.
Fortnite.
About time for me especially. I was waiting ever since they released Fork Knife as a tangible product.
Well, they released Fork Knife and it was okay. It was just I tried it for like an hour. I bought like the best one available because I'm like, this is good. Remember, I'm like, this is gonna be awesome. Before we even got to this building, I was talking about it with everyone in production. I'm like, hey, this is gonna be badass. This game looks awesome. We're gonna do all this stuff. I bought it, played it for I don't know a few hours, and I'm like, lost interest because of all the build aspect. I just didn't like it.
I don't like it. It's not even just the build aspect. What killed it for me is there's no aiming. You shoot at the hip. That's all you do.
Yeah, there's no ADS. There's no iron sights. There's no scope. Well, there's scoping if you have a sniper rifle.
Yeah, if you have a sniper rifle, which if they didn't even have that, I probably would have just ripped my SSD on my computer and burned it out of pure anger. But seriously,
pure angst.
It's like, oh, it's a running gun. Okay. Great.
Actually, we've got an interesting question from on YouTube from Delano as well. He says, thoughts on 4K monitors. What size do you recommend? I feel like 4K on anything below like 28 inches really is kind of
pointless. And that's what kind of pisses me off a little bit about the release for the Asus and the Acer monitors, because all of those 4K HDR G-Sync monitors are 27 inches.
27 inches.
There's a 35-inch by Asus, but it's a 2K, which honestly, I'm more interested in that 2K monitor because single cards can't push 4K yet.
Yeah.
The only problem is I have to make space on my desk because it's a corner desk and it's not that deep. But I don't think 4K is really in its mature stages yet.
I feel like even though 4K and now they're pushing to 8K, I feel like 4K for gaming, you don't have enough games with supporting textures. You have to have 4K textures. Having 4K resolution is great, but if the textures don't support it, you're still going to get the jaggies, the artifacting, not artifacting,
the edgies.
The edgies, yeah, thanks. The aliasing. You're still going to get the aliasing across the board, no matter how much anti-aliasing you put on there. You're still going to get it because you're having a higher pixel density, but you don't have textures to fill those small little cubes. So everything is made of different textures. If you don't have those textures at such a fine detail, you simply can't deliver 4K content. Even if you're pushing 4K to the display, it's only going to give you so much detail no matter what pixel density you have. That's something, as we saw, with some demos like on HTC Vive Pro. If it's not made for Vive Pro, you will still see the jagginess no matter how great the screen is, because there's only so much you can do with certain textures. And so, I mean, that's the same idea. And I feel like as we start to get more 144 hertz based 4K monitors that are larger size, it would be better. I think minimum would have to be 28 inch, and even that is a stretch for me. I think I'd probably...
it's way too small.
I think I'd probably do 30, 32. But I have a problem where once I get above like 35, like on Chad, as of like a 40 inch, I tried that and my freaking eyes started hurting and I felt dizzy.
Yeah, so you get motion sickness.
Yeah, oh, it's bad. Besides the subwoofer scaring the crap out of me.
I just think you need to fix that by playing more PUBG.
It's like 400 plus hours.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So, end of days.
End of days. Well, first of all, PUBG. One thing I got to say is what pisses me off about this whole situation with PUBG Corp versus Epic is when Bluehole first, before PUBG Corp obviously existed, when Bluehole created the game, they actually worked with Epic
to define the engine down, yeah,
to help expand what the engine can do and support the 100-player free for all, basically.
Right, and then Epic was like, "That's a sweet idea, bro."
Yeah, and I'm sure. I mean, maybe they were neophytes to this, and they simply were like, no, we don't. They didn't think about putting a contract in place. Maybe it was, and that's their fault.
Or maybe because it's their engine, they have the right to do whatever they want creatively with any collaborative effort they make with another studio.
But I think that's playing dirty as well, because
if you're playing dirty, but it's business, man.
But if you're taking, think about this. You've played at least Fork Knife once or twice the Battle Royale.
Sadly.
You fly in with that stupid school bus.
Hey. Yes.
Can you do that backward? Okay. Well, with that, it's basically the same gameplay, minus the fact that you have build aspects. And now they're adding more stuff like a shopping cart you can ride in, because that is needed, apparently. But they also know how to pander, because and I hate to say that because it sounds really bad, but they know how to pander to their audience because it's free to play, so you're going to get more people to play it. Simple as that. You are going to get more people to play because it's free. You know, free-to-play games are big. And so with that, you're going to get more people adopting it, more younger generation, because they don't have a lot of blood and violence. Whereas PUBG is working on optimizations, Epic is working on rolling out more and more funny content, so people will create more videos, which gets it to go further and further viral.
If it was funny, if they had funny elements to it that were hilarious, to me especially, I probably would play it.
But I don't really know. I really don't know if we're the target audience for what Fork Knife's trying to do.
No, and you know what, dude? I've had many more funny moments on PUBG alone, just out of pure coincidence or just rare occurrences, than I ever have with any other game. In fact, since we're on that subject, I think it'd be a great idea in future live streams if we gather our funniest moments and we create reels.
Oh, God.
And we have discussions out of it. That could probably be a full live stream in itself.
I have that video on YouTube when me and Chad were playing and we got ran over by a boat in the middle of the desert. That would probably be a pretty good one.
Yeah, I have at least 5 or 6 off the top of my head.
Oh, God.
So
this is going to go badly as we start to show this stuff.
Yeah, it's okay.
But it's something we're going to have to do, I think.
It'll be a good time.
But I feel like even if it is, they have the rights to it. I feel like that's my opinion. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to take us back to that topic, but
yes, you are. Don't lie.
I feel like it's really dumb, and I feel like it's kind of like they just saw, hey, we can do this and we can do it better, because when you create it free and you start making it to where people can do funny stuff with it and kids can be involved, whereas PUBG is focusing on optimization, Fork Knife is more just interested in pushing as many people as possible to play it. It's a good
cash cow.
It's a good business strategy. I mean, they're doing what they need to be successful, but it doesn't make me want to play it more.
Yeah,
I feel like that's
not me. There's nothing that could make me play Fork Knife. Nothing. Not even
Plus,
is the only video game left in the world.
The other thing is, you think about back when Counter-Strike, a toaster could play that. Well, we're in the same boat with like Fork Knife.
Yeah.
You don't have to build a killer machine to play Fork Knife. You can play, but PUBG, you can have the most killer machine out there, and PUBG's like, well, good luck.
Yeah, my microwave could play Fork Knife, and could be destroyed by a fork and a knife.
How many microwaves do you have?
Just one.
Oh, okay.
Real quick, we have Delano from YouTube that asked a 2-part question. A, do you ship international? And B, what kind of warranties do you have available for international? Well, Delano, we do ship internationally, I believe, in some of the major countries like South America, Canada, Mexico. We don't ship everywhere, but we have worked collaboratively with a company by the name of Bongo US, and they basically act as kind of like the broker in between. So we ship to them, and then they ship to you. And they handle all the arrangements, so really all you do is you pay the premium for their service, you pay for any duties, fees, taxes, things like that for customs, and then off you go. As far as warranties go, unfortunately, we do only have one location in the US for warranty service through us. However, as we've mentioned previously in our live streams, we do use components that are available globally. And a lot of times companies like Asus or MSI will have shops set up in Europe and in Asia to where you can work with them advocately and get parts sent to them. And we could always delegate those repair processes for you and tell you what you need to do. So.
And we are working on expanding in all these areas too.
Oh, absolutely.
Offer more, but right now our primary location is the North America / United States. So
that is correct.
And that's something we're working on expanding far out of. It's just a matter of time. Also, another thing, I actually missed part, and I apologize, Delano. I actually missed part of it. He said Battlefield is meh at best, but still better than COD, and I do agree. I think COD, it had its place. When you're younger, you like just the run and gun style, where I think you have to be a little more strategic with Battlefield.
Call of Duty is the first game that I ever decided to stop playing because of the game engine. It wasn't the content. It wasn't even the textures. It's the same game, over and over.
Just reskinned.
Yeah. It's like, I'm going to give you the same Christmas present for the next 5 years, but in different wrapping.
You're giving me a present? Sweet.
Yeah.
Will I better eat it?
We should probably talk off camera about this.
Okay, that's a conversation for later. We also have one other thing. It's console-based. It's one more gaming thing. And this is something that came up actually a week or so ago, and we weren't able to cover it last live stream because we kind of ran out of time. Had to end kind of abruptly. PS4 is is reaching its end of days.
Like I said, end of days.
But it's coming at a very, very slow pace. So it won't be.
Honestly, PS4 couldn't die soon enough, in my opinion.
Hey, I have one. Leave it alone.
I do too. And I bought all this stuff. I bought all these games. The only game I played with it from beginning to end was Killzone, because I love the Killzone series.
Yeah.
And then it lost its luster after games started coming out for the PC that were also on PS4 and Xbox One, and these consoles couldn't even keep up with the tech then. And that's when I knew it was in trouble. And like, I remember Casey, my wife, she started playing Black Flag. Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and it looked awesome. And it was before it came out on the PC, because you remember they kept delaying the release of the PC like months.
Yeah.
It was like 2 or 3 months. Then she saw me playing it on the PC, and the exact words that came out of her mouth were, "That's Black Flag on the PC." Then she never touched it on the PS4 again.
Yeah.
Because she saw how awesome it looked. Same with Tomb Raider. She played Tomb Raider on what was it, PS3?
Yeah, PS3 I think was the first one that really.
Yeah, the reboot. She played that, and then she saw me playing on the PC, and she was like, "Why do I keep doing this to myself?"
Because you want to play the game right away. You get excited for it. And that's why, don't get me wrong, I have certain games like God of War where you only get it on PlayStation. You don't get it anywhere else. So
it should be on the PC though, man. God of War should be on the PC 100%.
I absolutely agree. But the thing is, we don't have it.
I replayed Rome.
Yeah.
On the PC when that came out, when the CryEngine was like, "Up, we adapted to the PC. Here we go." I replayed that 2 times over on the PC because of how awesome it was on the PC.
Oh, yeah.
60 frames a second? Are you kidding me?
But when you've got to wait a year to whatever for their exclusivity to go away so you can get it on PC sometimes, you really want to wait when you're that excited for a game. That's why I have some consoles. I have some consoles simply because of, if there was no exclusivity, I would only probably play PC because it's so versatile. It can handle pretty much anything.
True. By the way, I meant Rise, not Rome.
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure I was like, I was just going to roll with it. But
Rise.
I'm glad you corrected that because I was a little confused. I was going to ask you after, like, what were you talking about?
Like Civilization Rome?
And by the way, the rumors thus far are that this might be the final PlayStation console. The next one might be more of a modular kind of PC-based system. But that's purely speculation/rumor because that's a long ways away.
Kind of like what another accessory manufacturer tried to do with PC building and make computer upgrades modular?
Project Christine.
Sure.
Right, yeah, died.
Horrible.
That died. That was fun.
It went exactly where it needed to go. Straight to hell.
Christine, come back! Nope.
Christine, come back! No, die.
No, she's, I think, time of death, long time ago.
Time of death, not soon enough.
Time of death, long before it was ever made.
Okay.
And now, we're actually reaching the end of the stream. We're actually a little exceeding our time, but I actually, you know what, Kevin, you said something. He actually is proving our point. He said, Teddy is the target audience for Forknife. And that is his son, and he loves that game, and he plays it all the time. And that's awesome, because I love the fact that his son plays a lot of games. His son played like Titanfall. Right. I remember when he set up his PC, it was awesome.
Well, I remember. How old is Teddy? Do you know?
What is he, like 13, 14, Kev? I guess he'd have to say it, but he says he loves it and has no interest in PUBG, and that's okay. I'm okay with people having other options. The problem I have is when they steal the idea, and instead of like working with PUBG and being like, hey, let's make a PUBG, kid-rated one or whatever.
Oh yeah, dude, that would have been cool.
That would have been cool, but then at least you would have given the respect to it instead of, hey, we created this.
You're right, 13.
13, see?
Well, that's the thing.
Wow, I actually remembered.
Because here's the thing, and I understand exactly why Teddy still prefers Fork Knife over PUBG. And if I think back to the days when I was younger and I played a lot more like Mario-based games, and then when I started to grow into like the first like realistic kind of tactical game that I ever played when I was probably like maybe I was 8 at the time, Metal Gear Solid. That was a game. That was a game when I first played it, and I'm like, how is this fun? I keep dying until I understood the mechanics and sat down and really worked on it. and then actually started progressing. And I'm like, this game is amazing because you have games that require thought and tact and skill, and then you have games where it's just run and gun and shoot, and there's still skill, but it's a different kind of focus. And I've noticed that when we play PUBG for long periods of time, if I start to lose that focus just a little bit, I start getting sloppy, I start dying all the time, because PUBG requires that constant looking over your shoulder, checking your six, checking your partner's back, and making sure that you're in a good position for you to survive. That's a great aspect of it, as to where, you know, Fork Knife has that a little bit, but it's more or less just, I put more bullets in you, now you're dead. You know, so I get that.
Yeah, and that's where I think there is a place for it. I just feel like I wish it could have been handled better, because I feel like the way it feels, especially with this lawsuit coming out, it's obvious they didn't communicate with Bluehole/PUBG Corp on doing this, where they could have easily said, hey guys, we're going to come up with a game that is similar to this.
Right.
Or identical but cartoony. I mean, that is literally a carbon copy of PUBG.
Identitoony.
It's a carbon copy though, man. When you look at it, the whole way, the way you enter, the way you parachute down, all of it is all the same.
I couldn't believe it. I just thought the idea of Battle Royale was swiped from PUBG, but then the moment that you go to start the map and the map layout shows up and then the line and then the bus, and I'm just like, what is this sorcery? No!
And the worst part is, I don't think it's fun, at least personally. But that's just my opinion.
Honestly, I played it a couple times by myself, and I killed a few people. I'm like, you know, this isn't bad. And then Chad and I played it when the PUBG servers were down, and you could just, if I recorded the session, you could just hear the level of depression increase between both of us. Like, where are the scopes?
Well, it's not even tactic, it's a luck a lot of times.
I have a rocket launcher. How do I build this? I don't have materials. Oh, I'm just going to chop down this tree. Now I have wood. I need steel. I destroyed half this building. Oh, look, the line's coming because you just wasted a solid 2 minutes and you're just mining for materials. Is this Minecraft? Why am I doing this? Why am I alive?
Why is this happening?
Why haven't I burned my PC to the ground for the fact that I put Fork Knife on it yet?
I actually, just to be fair, I even gave it a chance by loading it on my PS4,
Yeah.
and I still didn't like it. I tried. Ashley watched me play it, and I'm like, I'm just not enjoying this. It's not fun.
I just want to wait for Fork Knife to be over.
And that's going to be next week's introductory clip. I'm glad we're recording this. Other than that, we have some AVA news. We got some AVADirect special promotions going on. Dads and Grads just launched today.
Dads and Grads.
And that is up to $600 off on select AVADirect systems.
Pretty good deal.
Free shipping and discounts on tons of different models. If you're looking for a really killer machine, you can hit us up on this and probably save some decent money. Get a nice free shipping. Get pretty much a kick-ass system for much less than what you may pay any other time, even though
For exactly $500 less.
Depending. Maybe 5% off, maybe free shipping, maybe $600 off if you're looking for like, I just happened to scroll through it real quickly to see some of the models we were offering, and one of them was a pretty astute, like a Lenovo laptop. And it was $600 off, and I'm like, that's actually really awesome.
Yeah.
That was a killer deal.
Yeah, that Lenovo was a really good deal. And then we also have these Zotac boxes.
Zotac?
Zotac!
It's not a 1070 Mini, just saying.
We have some
1070 Ti.
Zotac boxes for you to look at. If you like, you buy. If not, it's okay.
Oh, I'm just going home after this.
I mean,
I'm mentally done for the week, I think.
It is Phrygia.
By the way, you never know. We might actually stream. Actually, I don't know if we could stream this weekend. I don't know.
We're going to stream this weekend.
On the AVA channel?
There is. No reason as to why we shouldn't.
Well, we have our Twitch up. People are watching us on Twitch. We might even stream on the Twitch channel this weekend, some PUBG or something like that. We'll have to see if I have all the layouts on my local system. If I do, maybe we'll stream some duos and maybe even some squad with Chad and Chris and who knows who else. Other than that, guys, thank you for joining us. Please check out our other bundles we still have going, like our gaming bundle, VR bundle, stuff like that. And be sure to check out some of the killer machines we're making, and hopefully we can build you something really badass so you can join us and play as well.
Killer deals and killer machines.
And I've been Shannon.
I think I'm Joe.
I've been Shannon. I used to be Shannon. Now I'm something else.
I am Joe.
I am Job.
Signing off.
Take care, guys.